Dude, you see the card for next week for this Tuesday? It's stacked. They're going against AEW's championship. Was it Title Tuesday is what they're calling it. Denise Hollywood Salcedo at _ Denise Salcedo already announced for WWE NXT next week. John Cena will appear in the corner of Carmelo Hayes. Cody Rhodes will be making a major announcement. Asuka versus Roxanne Perez. And from there, we have Paul Heyman also going to be there. And we heard the gong tonight on SmackDown. The Undertaker looks like will be making an appearance as well. Puddy, is this enough to beat out AEW in the ratings on Tuesday?
This is not what will. You know what I'm saying? They're stacking this card. The detriment to them is AEW's main roster. That's their guys. This is their people. NXT's, developmental, right? So now that you're loading it up with big names and main event players and well-known people, legends, if this doesn't beat AEW, I don't know what will.
Right. It's wild that they're doing this. Is this a retaliation to the fact that Edge is going to be wrestling for the first time in AEW? Because that's the biggest highlight there that AEW has. I know they have Saraya versus Shida. I think Hangman Page is also going to be in action. Yeah.
I don't. It doesn't matter what the card was. I saw these like Asuka. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Then I hear Cody Rhodes is making an announcement. Oh, then John Cena's coming. I'm like, oh, well, this seems weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to my guide next week. I'm like, oh, AEW's opposite. Okay. I know now this is the time of the year where AEW's all fucked up because of the playoffs, MLB playoffs. They're moving around now. I'm like, okay, now we're going head to head again. This is a smart move. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, you tried your best. Developmental is fine.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
But does NXT being on its night and AEW moving give them the advantage? Or because my DVR recorded AEW on Wednesday at 4:00 in the afternoon when it was Big Bang Theory. Like, I don't know why my DVR missed AEW.
That's weird.
So, like, maybe people will miss AEW on Tuesdays, or the casual fan might miss it. I don't know. I'm curious to see how this goes.
But then, like, one has to wonder. So, like, one has to assume. I mean, they're making a big deal about NXT, right? And I mean, not for nothing. I grew up a huge Undertaker fan. I'd probably watch to see what the hell happens there with that by itself. You'll have a lot of people probably tuning into NXT. They're most likely going to blow AEW out of the water. I shouldn't say that because I think a lot of people are excited about Adam Copeland making his in-ring debut there. Yeah. But like, one has to think that NXT has the edge, for lack of better terms, here. Thank you. But is it fair though? Is it fair? Because, like, if you want to beat that ratings war there, if the one of the few times you guys are going to be head to head, don't you want to do it on, like, the merits of the talent that's actually in NXT every week? Doesn't that devalue the product? Does it devalue the talent that's been putting up every single week over there? Wow. Look at you. The WWE mark is coming out in you.
Okay. I never hit it. I never hide it.
I saw the little smirk that came up there. I'm like, oh, here we go.
Also, I mean, the ratings are huge and important, but this day and age, how important are they? Because
they're not, because they're down watch everywhere.
One, then you'll DVR the other, or you'll flip back and forth.
Or people are following social media, or they're checking out clips on YouTube, right? I mean, it's all about the collective, the views is what they're looking at here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I think Scott Lesh brought up a good point. He's a photographer, does work at AEW, but has done some work at BCW as well. About that point that I brought up is the fact that it's kind of like overkill, man. Like, yeah, your analogy, you bring a gun to a rock fight. Like, it's kind of unnecessary, and I kind of see the point though. Like, what does that say for the existing talent in NXT that's been there every single week? What, we can't do this on our own? Because that would be a bigger deal though. If, like, the regular people that have been there every week, they beat out AEW on their own. Am I wrong in that?
No, you're not. You're absolutely right, 100%. But you called me a WB mark, but then you had these AEW fucking marks who are shitting on NXT because they beat them in their brief Wednesday Night Wars. Again, because the main roster talent, household names, people we know. Like, let's tune in. Let me see Chris Jericho. Let me see John Moxley. Who's this person? Who's this person in NXT? It's developmental. But now, we're going to reignite this one time only war. They got their ass handed to them back in the day. Let's see what they can do. You have your main roster. You got your names. Well, we got some tricks up our sleeve. Let's pull in the big guns. We're WWE, the worldwide leader in sports entertainment for 50 fucking plus years. Let's bring in fucking John Cena. Let's bring in
I think it'll be very interesting though if AEW does beat them. It'll be very interesting to see that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Again, it's main roster. The Edge is there. You have a hardcore fan base. Again, I could watch NXT clips on YouTube's.